Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. I was actually in a little bit of a bad mood the past couple of days, and I will explain that. But I just listened to some Honey by The Lox and Mariah Carey and some 112, Only You, and it got me in a good mood. Everyone just tuning in, you guys know what to do. Share out the live everywhere. Don't share it on Progressive Action. I'll take care of Progressive Action. Share it everywhere else. Share it on your personal page. Share it on any other group that you're in besides Progressive Action. Share it. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. If you're on YouTube, take the link and share it out. Now, we got some things to talk about, as always, regarding some issues. But first, like I said, now what I want to do is that you have a lot of entrepreneurs out there. You guys are selling have a lot of products, and you guys don't have no platform to really sell your products. And when I look at you guys' pages, you guys don't have, y'all not getting the shares. Y'all product is not being seen. And if your product not being seen, then people more than likely will not buy your product. So I ask people to send in videos, invest in themselves, to promote themselves and get their product out there. So we got a couple of advertisers today, and we're going to get into the first one, and we're going to do it like this.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Hansen. As you can see, I sell TLC products, which consist of the main product, the Yaiso tea, which helps gives your body a gentle cleanse of the colon, basically ridding the body of toxins to help your body now absorb the nutrients from your food to help you begin your weight loss journey. Next, I sell the NutriBurst multivitamin. It contains 72 minerals and is equivalent to eating just about 10 salads. That's all you need in one bottle. NRG, which is going to give you that burst of energy your body needs throughout the day and helping you burn calories as well. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't wait until you're sick to get a hold on your health. The time is now. Join me on my weight loss journey or join my team. Thank you. You won't be disappointed.
Now, if you want to know where to get her NutriBurst product at, if you go back to the front of the video and you see the link. She didn't send a link. So if you go back to the first part of her video and look at the link, you can get the NutriBurst products from there. I know a lot of you guys are selling NutriBurst. And the reason I ask for commercials is because I want you guys to sell your own product. I don't want you guys to have me sell it for you. You know, I cost the fee. I cost the extra fee to try to get people to sell your product. So just make a commercial, put all that information in the commercial, and I will play it on the show. It will get thousands of views. It will get hundreds of shares. So if you're interested in NutriBurst, just check out her commercial again when the show is over, and hit her up. Now, as always, I need you guys to always donate to the platform. We have Cash App, Progressive Action 100. And we also have PayPal. That's Progressive Action. And we also have Patreon. I had set up different tiers of how people could donate via Patreon. We starting to get our the platform business in order. You know, a lot of people is asking, even in the pandemic, Tramel, could you do this conference? Can you do this and do that? I am a business. I'm a business. I'm not like you guys say, oh, Tramel, you know, you're not regular no more, and you're a public figure. You know what? You're right. I am a public figure, and I must carry myself accordingly now, business wise. So things have changed business wise for me, and if you could donate via Patreon. Find a slot that's for you, and it's all good. I don't have the shirt on today, but I promote our own product, Spread Love, Not Corona. You can find that. I think that's actually in the link of the video. A lot of people have been asking for the shirt. That's where you could get it at perfedel.com, perfedel.com. That's another way how you could donate to the show. Donate, get a shirt. Buy a shirt, you donate to the show, you get it like that. Last week, I don't know, there was a lot going on last week, and I forgot to play this video right here. I did an interview for NBC, and they basically let me get the microphone, and I'm going to play it right now for those who didn't see it. So check it out. I personally know about 4 or 5 co-workers who have passed. One of them I grew up with, my friend Rob, conductor Cherry, see him all the time. We didn't have a chance to mourn. You can't really hug and console each other. So it's like a real traumatic situation. It's not like I don't want to go back. I want to go back. I love my job. I love moving the people from point A to point B safely. At the same time, I love my family. I love my health. When you have all these government officials, the governor, the mayor, they don't thank us on the same level as they thank nurses, doctors, firefighters. We want to be recognized, and not only through words, with action. Treat us like heroes. Make sure that heroes have the proper PPE. Make sure that heroes have the proper health care and getting the proper medical attention that we need. Make sure that us heroes are being compensated for putting our lives on the line every single day. Yeah, so basically I did a little interview with NBC, asking the MTA to basically, do the right thing. We've been asking long enough, and it's about time we start demanding. We're going to get into that later on in the show. So I wasn't in a good mood, as I stated earlier, these past 24 hours, I would say. And one of the reasons I wasn't in a good mood was because a coworker, a friend, a good guy, passed away due to COVID. And this hit me pretty hard because he was one of many who came and asked me for my help regarding this COVID situation. And I'm going to share with you guys a message of what his fight for. This is it's my bro right here. And for those who don't know, it's Nevi Lacayo. He's a conductor. And this is him with his family. And he passed away recently, yesterday. I think after being in the hospital for like 2 months. I had sent him a message the beginning of May asking, checking on his status. And his wife had messaged me back and she said he's still in the hospital. And I was pretty surprised because I thought he was getting better. And that it just didn't end up that way. So back in March, I'm gonna share with you guys a message. Back in March, Nevi had hit me up, and if you look on the screen, he says, "Hey Tramel, it doesn't look like they disinfect inside the cabs where train operators or conductors work." And he also said that these are the wipes after I clean these MDC, Master Door Control, and where we talk. This was my operating cab 9478. Now, the reason his death, like all the deaths bother me, but it's different when you have a connection with someone and they reached out to you directly for help and guidance, during these troubling times. And he tried his best to protect himself when the MTA didn't do what they needed to do to protect us. And you see in the picture, he was cleaning the cab. It was dirty, and and he eventually got sick and succumbed to this virus. So during that time, what's the date on that? March 13th, the MTA, they was claiming they was doing it every 72 hour cycle of the trains. And one thing that nobody took into consideration was there's a difference between disinfecting the trains and cleaning the trains. You know, when they disinfect, they just at that time, they was just putting bleach and just wiping, passing the rag over. When you're cleaning, you're not going to get what our brother was getting on those wipes. And the thing is that the MTA was disinfecting over dirty surfaces. So what sense did that make? You know, why not clean the surface and then disinfect it? You know, our cabs shouldn't even be dirty to this extent. And he made it clear that this dirt came from the MDC and the PA from where we talk. Those two are the most common places that conductors touch when we're operating, is to make the announcements and to open and close the doors. So that was dirty. It shouldn't be that dirty. You know, they should have been cleaning the trains and then disinfecting the trains. Now, if you listen to what the TA is saying now, they just concentrating on disinfecting. Yes, the trains are looking more cleaner. Why? Because they hired more personnel. Before this pandemic hit, you had sometime 1 to 2 people per 8 to 10 car train. You know, now you got 5, 6 people on one train doing a whole bunch of things, and it's giving an effect like the MTA is doing something now. They care. They could have been did this if they wouldn't have let the cleaners go through attrition, and they didn't fill certain positions when workers promoted themselves. So the MTA actually put themselves in this predicament. So I don't understand, why are we applauding the MTA now for having clean trains? This is something that should have always been done. And, you know, I just don't get it. And when I found out that he passed away yesterday, I was very upset. I was very upset because it's like I couldn't help him. You know, it wasn't nothing that I could do within my power to actually help the situation. I mean, I felt I did everything that I can, but when someone come with me with something in particular, I like to take control or have control over it to make the situation right. And with that, I couldn't. So, you know, I feel bad that I couldn't be of more help to him. And it's a messed up situation. RIP to our brother, man. I don't understand how we dealing with all these traumas of our coworkers passing. You know, I don't understand how we keep going and focus and be human. You know, these situations is not allowing us to be human. We have lost more workers than any other city agency. We have New York City Transit have lost more workers than some states and cities. I need you guys to understand that. It's tough, man. It's tough. Oh, man. So, shift gears. In the world today, we know that the black man is a threat. And people know how to weaponize our race and weaponize our agenda against us. You know, you see it with, in a lot of situations. You see it with the police. You see it with citizens. We see the difference on how white folks is treated different than black folks from the police. And some citizens, they just aren't any better. And they know how to weaponize what God gave us against us. And none of us asked to be black. We didn't ask to be white. I love it. But, you know, certain people know how to use that against us and to their advantage and try to get a certain reaction from, the police and things of that nature. Let me just get into the video, because this video is pretty troubling. And I'm gonna read the comments. Once I play this video, because I really want to know what you guys is thinking. So check it out.
Would you please stop? Sorry, I'm asking asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
This is what the black man is dealing with in America. It's very troubling. She said, it's troubling. She said, I'm going to call the police and tell them that you're threatening my life. Not only did she call the police, she also put panic in her voice and made it seem like she was being attacked. That's very dangerous when a white woman make an accusation like that and expecting a heavy-handed response from NYPD. And what's crazy is that the union did that to me before. We was in the union hall and the union said that I had 200 protesters at the union hall and they was expecting a heavy-handed response from the police. And of course, it was the same predicament. It was a whole bunch of us who were color. And I think Joe Campbell was there. And it was basically white men calling the police on us or condoning, them calling the police on us. I don't know if you guys ever seen that video, but she's a racist. What's her name? Amy Cooper. She is a racist. See, people was calling it Karening. Karening was that white lady who called the police on a young girl who was selling cookies, I think, at the time. This isn't Karening. This is way worse. She made it seem like she was being attacked when she called the police in, and the police could have came and possibly killed this man, because of her false accusation. Now, whenever you call or I don't care what nobody say, and don't let no non-person of color tell you who you think is racist and who you not think is racist. Blacks are the professionals at knowing who's racist and who's not racist. That's just how it works. We can spot it from a mile away. We get that feeling, we get that intuition, right? So whenever you accuse someone of being a racist, no matter, even her, she said that she's not racist. She said she's not a racist. One of the main components of racism is the whole denial part. Nobody will really stay in their right mind in 2020, yeah, I'm a racist, and you work for a Fortune 500 company because it's going to come on after that. You're going to get fired, right? So, and the way the denial of racism, it sounds just like how she was sounding. I'm not racist. That's what it sounds like, right? That's the denial part of the racism. Or when you see another person take up for another person that say, oh, this person don't have a racist bone in their body. How do you know? How do you know what that person is thinking? And I need you guys, we gonna get into that. I'm gonna expand on that because we gotta have a serious conversation about this topic right here. So she did all of that. Her job put her on with administrative leave, and then today, this is what they did. She worked for Franklin Templeton, and they had tweeted this at 2:24. It says, following our internal review of the incident in Central Park yesterday, we have made the decision to terminate the employee involved, effective immediately. We do not tolerate racism of any kind at Franklin Templeton. But we're going to see where they tolerate racism at, because I'm quite sure someone's going to holler. But she was fired. I think that it took too long. I don't know what they had to investigate. The video was right there. You know, she's a racist. And she could have possibly got that man killed. And what's ironic is that they both got the same last name. That's ironic. But she could have possibly got him killed. And that's very, very alarming. And we done seen this before. We all heard the story of Emmett Till. We all heard that story of Emmett Till. And this could have been another situation of that. The police could have came overzealous, guns blazing, and killed him. We have seen that before. Now, we have heard of these stories, but this is our first time really seeing it. So I'm glad that he pulled out his phone, recorded it, and documented it, because people want to act like these situations don't exist. They exist, and it's real. Now, another situation that we have is the guy, George Floyd, who was killed by police through suffocation or strangulation with the knee or whatever. Let's just get into that video. I'm really disturbed with these videos. Let's discuss this video.
My face is gone. I can't breathe, man. Please let me stand. Please, man, I can't breathe.
That was sad. That was sad. So they sat there, and I didn't want to play the other video, because the other video with the close up, that was a little too graphic. And I wasn't even gonna play this video because it really upsets me that they killed that man in cold blood like that. You know, they strangled him with the knee. He was lifeless, and they still didn't move. I don't know how many times we have to see these videos. I don't know what will it change for us to actually stand up and make change and fight back against this unjust system against people of color. I don't care what he did, you know, that led him to be arrested. He didn't deserve that. He was already in custody. He didn't deserve that. That was cold-blooded murder. The officer know exactly what he did. And it's sad. Now, again, the 4 cops were fired after that. We don't want them to be fired. We want them to be arrested, brought up on charges, convicted. They are all accessories to murder. Every single last one of them. And it's just sad, like, still in 2020, us black men and women, we still can't get a fair shake in this country. 2020, it's something for us to think about. Now, I need you guys, if you're just tuning in, I need you guys to please share out the video. Like I said, share it on your personal Facebook page, share it in a group, start a watch party somewhere, share out the video. Now, us black folks, we have the tendency to worry about what's going on in other people's communities. So lately, we have been seeing, the Jewish people get away with certain things in their community that we don't get away in ours, right? And I know from the outset, it's troubling. You know, it's upsetting. And you say, hey, how come they could do that over there, but we can't do that over here? This is the thing. Us black folks, we do not stick together. We don't vote. We don't vote as a community. We're divided. We can't get on the same page. We don't support each other. There's a lot of problems in the black community, and we could straighten those things out, and we could get the same respect as the Jewish community. But until we straighten those things out, we're not going to get that respect, right? So we can't say, hey, how come the politicians and the police is respecting the Jewish community, but they not respecting us? We haven't demanded the respect. They have demanded the respect. The same thing that Malcolm X wanted for us is what the Jews actually got into play. Now, it's harder for us because the Jews, they wasn't treated like us. You know, that's the truth. You know, people like to compare the Holocaust to slavery. They both were bad, but one was 300 years and the other one was 12 years. Both was bad, but let's be real. You know, there's no mechanism in place to continuously keep Jews down. There's a mechanism in place to keep people of color down. You don't see Jews getting choked out by the police and things of that, but it also goes back to them being involved in politics. You know, us black folks, we hear the word politics, we get scared and run the other way. But politics is what actually get us paid. If you work for the government, you should be into politics, because these politics determines your health care. These politics determine how much taxes you pay. These politics determine your wage. These politics determine every single last thing about your job. You know, we got to stop shying away from things that we aren't educated on. We got to get educated on these things and get involved. You know, I just don't get it. But as a community, we have to do better as a community. We have to do better as a community. Now, you will have some black folks, and they will say, well, Tramel, you know, we aren't black. We Aboriginal and all this other stuff. I agree with that, right? But some people really get upset when you say we're not black. Okay, we're not black. Okay. So, but what kill me with some of these people is they say, oh, you know, we're not black, we're Aboriginals. And then you go, what's your name? And they got a European last name. You cannot tell me anything about we're not black, and you taking offense about us or me saying that we're black and you got a European last name. Let's fix that up first. Find out what your original name is, or go to Malcolm X way and change your name to X until you figure out where your roots lie. And then you know, oh, we're Moors and we're this, we that. I don't want to hear nothing about the Moor debate with you guys. If you own a driver's license, guess what? You're not a Moor. Want to know why? Because Moors believe they are so sovereign to the land. They don't need no license, right? If you got a driver's license, you're not a Moor. If you work for the city and pay taxes and federal tax, you're not a Moor. Just not. If you're going to live it and be that, don't rely on this government. Don't rely on this government, because when you fill out this application for the job, don't it ask you to check what nationality you are? Don't say African American or and they say, oh, ain't no such thing as African American. You're right. You're right. But you want to know what? You have a European name. I don't want to hear nothing about we aren't African. We know that. We know that. But don't nitpick if you're over here still living with your slave master name. Let's be real here. No more of that from you guys. You guys be killing me with that. I'm tired of that. And I get your argument. I totally get your argument. But if you're going to make a argument with me about it, then have your own name. Not your slave master name or European name, if you want to go that route. My last name is Thompson. I'm happy with my last name, and that's just how it go. That's how it go. I know where I'm from. I know all that. I want to know my true last name, what tribe I'm from, and all other stuff. But it's not bothering me to the point where I say, hey, you know, we're not black. We're not black. Well, you got a European last name. Fix that, then we'll have that conversation. That's just how that's going to go. Now, to all the people who say, to all the people who think, when you think of racism, there's still people out there that think racism or someone being racist is someone actually going up to a black person and calling them the N-word. People think that that's what racism is. People think that he's not racist because he doesn't hang someone from a tree or she doesn't hang someone from a tree or whatever the case is. That's how people are stuck in the mind frame of, oh, this person ain't racist because they don't do this particular thing. That's a lie. That's a lie. Racism isn't hanging people from trees anymore. It evolved. Racism is hidden in laws. Racism is hidden in wages. Racism is hidden in work rules. Racism is hidden in politics. So it's not as blatant as you may think it should be, but it's there, right? So when the MTA hired cleaners at a wage, with the contractors hired them at a wage that was less than what they was paying their cleaners, what you think that was? You don't think that was racism? Of course it was. That's why Scott Stringer got involved and said, hey, you paying these black and brown people, you ain't paying them the right amount of wages. You knew about it. You didn't inquire, or whatever the case was. That have to change, right? So racism is not as blatant as you think it should be. It's not overt. It's covert. It's hidden in things. It's hidden in all these agendas and things like that. Racism is depriving a certain group of people of good health care. Racism is calling us essential and having us work in the middle of a pandemic without the proper PPE. That's racism today. And having us work without the proper PPE, and while the facts continue to change week by week. That's what racism looks like. When are you guys going to see it? It's not overt like you think you see in the movies. It's not that. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, because I haven't talked about race in a long time. Of course, other nationalities are going to die along in this coronavirus. But when you're in business of capturing a large amount of people, you're going to capture others too. And that's called collateral damage. Of course, as long as they aren't the majority, nobody's going to care. Because then it goes back again to the politics, how involved we are. We shy away from those things. We got to get involved. But they are collateral damage too. This is just how the business is. In order for them to get the majority of us, some of them have to get caught. This is the game. This is the game. And I don't care who get mad about it. I don't. It is what it is. You can't deny the facts. If I'm lying, someone correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm lying. Now I want to get into another commercial, and we're gonna let the commercial speak for itself. But this is Jake's Cookies. My boy Jake doing big things. Check him out.
Ready? Good afternoon, Mr. Jacob. How are you? Good. Thanks for inviting me out here to your humble abode. It's real nice, real comfy, real nice setup you got going on out here. We're gonna get right into it. These Jake's Cookies, man, they're taking the world by storm. Seems like everybody's loving them. Right off the bat, where can we get your cookies at?
We could get it from jakescookies.com.
Oh wow, you got your own website?
Yeah.
Okay, and I hear you got chocolate chip, white chocolate macadamia nut, M&M cookies, peanut butter, butterscotch,
oatmeal raisin.
Oatmeal and raisin. Wow, so you got six flavors, man. So how does it feel to be a successful businessman, entrepreneur, making your own money at 5 years old? You're 5, right?
Yeah.
At 5 years old, does that feel good?
Yeah.
That is so cool, man. That is so cool. Your parents are doing an excellent job with you. I just want to congratulate you and your parents. You guys are doing an excellent job. Excellent job. So, how do these? Because I haven't tried them yet. I'm going to try them before I leave here. How do these cookies taste?
They taste delicious.
They taste delicious. You know what? I want some oatmeal and raisin. Can I have some oatmeal and raisin?
Yeah.
All right, my man. All right, so we got it. jakescookies.com. We could get your cookies at. We could order them all flavors. And then you're going to give me some cookies right now, right? Appreciate you. Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can get those cookies at jakescookies.com. I actually bought a few, and they're actually good, man. Those cookies are actually good, and I see a lot of transit workers support it. You need to check out jakescookies.com. Go to the website, put your order in, and try out the cookies. They great, I'm telling you. Oh, so you know that we can't do a show without including Cuomo into the discussion. And we need to pay attention to this man narrative because he has changed his tune a couple of times. He's another one who doesn't take responsibility for the real things. He like to point, make Trump and the CDC a scapegoat, and he hasn't taken accountability for anything that went wrong in his state. So let's get into this Cuomo video and let's discuss it.
Guidance changed with regard to transmission of the virus on surfaces. In light of that, has the MTA's nightly disinfecting of every surface on every train been a misallocation of resources? Would you instead instruct them to get ready for the reopening by handing out masks to every single rider or to increase capacity?
Andrew, all of the above. The CDC did not say, first of all, the CDC did not say you can't get it from surfaces. They said you can get it from surfaces, but it's not a major transmission source. What does that mean? And they previously had suggested that it was a major source. But even if it's not a major source, this is tricky. If I get the virus, I don't care if I got it from a minor transmission source. I don't want to get the virus. So even if only 20% of the people get infected from surfaces, I'm still worried about those 20% of the people. So I think for the MTA, for any organization, it's all of the above. Yes, masks. Yes, hand sanitizer. Yes, social distancing. And yes, clean and disinfect the surfaces. Because even if they're right, and again, that assumes they're right. And let's be honest, the experts have changed their opinions and their numbers and their projections 3 times through this thing. So even if they're right, and it's only a minor source now, it's still a source. And do everything you can. Do everything you can. Do everything you can. And that's what we're doing.
What do you think a rider should do if they're going?
Listen to how Cuomo twist and turn at every news conference now. Everything now is the CDC this, the CDC that. What did the state do to protect workers? And in particular, New York City transit workers who have died because of this virus, a transit system that Cuomo has full responsibility for. But one reason I decided to play this video was because I want to show you guys that the facts are changing. So now they went from you can't get this virus from the major transmitter of this virus isn't surfaces. Now it's airborne, right? So they don't know anything about this virus, to be honest with you. It hasn't been around long enough for them to really know anything about it. And the facts, they really opinions, because facts, these type of facts should be based on some type of scientific evaluation. And it's not. So these facts continue to change. Are we in danger or are we not in danger? Which one is it? Are we in danger or are we not in danger? Are we safe at work or not? And it boggles my mind to all the bus operators out there. And the bus operators, the operating personnel who have to be in a particular place at a particular time, without a lot of protection. Stations is a little different. if you're a station agent, you're in the booth, you have a lot more protection, glass and all that other stuff. But you don't have protection from your own coworker you may be relieving or whatever the case is. So, but as far as from the customers at large, bus operators, the MTA have you guys tying up seatbelts and putting chains on a bus and hanging up a shower curtain on a bus. And you guys feel safe? You think that this virus is saying, hey, they got up a shower curtain, we're not going to go that way. Or we can't go past this shower curtain. You think this virus is saying that? The MTA has played a mean psychological game on you guys, on us, right? A mean psychological game. They got you thinking that this shower curtain that they have hung up in the buses provides you protection. That is not the case. It's a false sense of security. It's a false sense of security that's going to get more workers sick, and we're going to be in trouble. They have done nothing for train operators and conductors. You know, the MTA excuse is like, well, they have a cab door blocking them. Okay, but we got a ventilation system that leaks air into the cab. Cuomo says that this virus is airborne. He mentioned in a nursing home incidents that if someone is near the ventilation system, the HVAC system, and they sick, the virus can spread throughout the whole nursing home. So what's the difference between that and the air that circulates in the cab where the train operators and conductors work? There's no difference. And on some of these trains, like the 46s that they now have on the Q line, you can't even cut the air off. So you have no choice but to protect yourself. And trust me, when I get back to work and they give me a 46 where I can't cut off the air, I'm not taking that train. That's just how that's going to work. And I advise you guys to do the same thing. You know, they playing a mean game on us. They making you think that this false sense of security and protection is going to keep you from getting sick. This virus is no joke. It's no joke. We must demand more, and we must demand better. We're going to get into that in a second. Let's get into the second Cuomo video. And these videos are from today, his press conference today. And I always pick out at least 2 or 3 things that I think you guys should know, because I know a lot of people don't listen to his press conferences, even though I think that you guys should, because there may be something that I don't pick up that you pick up. So I think that you guys should listen to his press conferences. But let's listen to the second one right now.
You can do everything you can, and that's what we're doing.
What do you think a rider should do if they're going back to work and there's someone on their train who's not wearing a mask?
Look, New Yorkers are tough, right? As we've said. There is a social responsibility, I believe, to wear a mask. I believe it should be part of our culture. I think we should encourage each other to be responsible and to wear it. I encourage people when I'm walking around the street and somebody doesn't have a mask and they're walking past me. I encourage them nicely, politely, point out some facts. But it's New York. We have to be careful that that nice and polite stays nice and polite. And people are afraid now, and you can see tempers flare, and you can see the energy goes up. I think that's not helpful. I think you can have conversations with people and point it out, but keep it friendly and helpful and constructive.
So we heard Cuomo twist and spin again. He says, a reporter asked him, you know, what to do if, you know, people into the system with no mask. He made this big spill on everyone need a mask. Everyone need a mask. His answer to that is that New Yorkers are tough. New Yorkers are tough. So he didn't really answer the question. And I feel as a conductor, a worker of New York City Transit, I don't think that no one should be in a system without a mask. Everyone should have to wear a mask during these times. But even when you talk about the police with that, we have seen in the news how the police differently when certain groups of people have masks and certain people don't. Certain groups of people don't have masks. So he don't want to upset a certain group of people. That's why he didn't answer it the way that he should have answered it. Now, if we know New Yorkers are tough, but New Yorkers are human, and us humans have been dying by this coronavirus at astronomical numbers in New York City. And like I said before, if New York were its own country, we'll be number 6 on the list of coronavirus deaths. And that's something alarming to be, that's something to really be paying attention to, that we'll be number 6 in the world if New York were its own country. So I made a post about an opinion that I had. And for those who don't know, or who've been in the dark, us transit workers, we didn't get no respect this whole pandemic. We still don't get the respect that we deserve. We still get 1 mask a week. We still get 4 wipes a day. We still get a couple of gloves a week. We still not getting the respect that we deserve. And at what point or at what price do we have to pay to get the respect that we deserve? I would have never thought that in my lifetime I would have lost so many coworkers in such little time. We're talking about 2-3 months, over 130 coworkers dead, right? So at what price do we pay to get the respect that we deserve? You know, it's sad that even 1 person had to die and we didn't hold the MTA accountable. You know, we up to 130, and it's even more sad. How many more before we take action? I believe that we should have stood up 130 some deaths ago. That did not happen. So now here we are. We have the union now. Their fight is hazard pay, hazard pay, hazard pay. You know what hazard pay says to me right now from them? Is that they already put a price on our lives. We've been deserved hazard pay. So now that an egregious amount of workers died, now it's a fight for hazard pay. So now you put a price on our lives. How much this hazard pay should be worth? I think New York City transit workers hazard pay should be way more than any other agency hazard pay because we lost way more workers, right? So what's the price that you put on us for this hazard pay? I believe that we should have been had hazard pay. Now, if this is an opportunity for us to get it because we're dealing with a weak administration and we may not ever get that opportunity again up under them, yes, we should go for it. But they put a price on that. You know, all of these factors, they have, I won't even say factors. They have been playing behind the 8 ball for this whole pandemic, right? So they went from members were suggesting, hey, the subway system need to shut down. No, the subways is not going to be shut down. They can't do that. Now the MTA shut down the system. Oh, yeah, it's good the subway system is going to be shut down. Should have happened months ago. Didn't happen. Workers died. This whole hazard pay thing. Oh, Cuomo gave them the green light to say, hey, we're going to try to get hazard pay from the federal government. Now the union, hey, we deserve hazard pay. Now, one time they thought about stopping unsafe work and putting members first, not one time. And like I said, at what point do we say enough is enough? So, in my opinion, I think we need to take a mental health day off. We all get PLDs, right? That's a personal leave day. I think it might have refreshed this month. I think that we should take a mental health day. You know, it's a lot of anxiety out there. It's a lot of mental trauma out there. I just had a bus operator tell me today that she had to book off of work because her bus was too crowded and she filled up with anxiety and she couldn't drive no more. And this company didn't do anything yet to take care of us workers. So I'm suggesting, in my opinion, that we should take a mental health day on June 19th. And that day, that's a very special day if you know your history. Juneteenth is the emancipation of the last remaining enslaved African Americans in the Confederacy. Have something to do with Texas, right? That June 19th is actually the day that they said that blacks gained their freedom. Now, this isn't about black or white at this point. This is about workers standing together. But Juneteenth is also known as Freedom Day. And we need to be free. It feels like during this whole pandemic, the MTA has been walking us to like a gas chamber or walking us to an electric chair, slow death, or dumping us in the ocean filled with sharks and whoever make it out, make it out. The MTA have been doing that to us. If you worked here, you know that the MTA failed to protect us. Forget about what Sarah Feinberg say, Pat Floyd say, Governor Cuomo. They don't know. They rely on their sources on the field who's lying and they is lying. You know, one thing that was excellent about Byford was that he was on the ground with us. You've seen him. He was genuine. Sarah Feinberg isn't. You know, she's more I don't even know what the word is, Sweet Valley High-ish, I guess. You know, she don't really want to meddle with the rank and file workers, you know. And that's her take. But when you don't do that, you don't get to understand the job, and then the people up under you make you look like a fool, right? So you have that issue going on. June 19th. Let's all take a mental health day. And I'm not saying only rank and file, supervisors, ATDs, TDs, TSSs, some managers. Let's take a mental health day. In my opinion, I think that it should happen on that day. And why not show ourselves some gratitude when a company has refused to do that for us? I think that it's about time that we take a stand, you know. Listen, what is it going to take? Another 100 of us to die to realize that we should have did something sooner? I don't need no scientist to tell me the more time I spend away from this job, the more likely I will survive or not die because of COVID-19. Every second you spend on this job, you have the potential to die. This is a fact. I don't need the CDC to tell me that. this is a fact. It's a fact that the transit system been transporting this virus throughout New York City. This is a fact. I don't need the CDC to tell me that. They refused to shut down the system. And I get it. I get why they didn't want to do it, but they also refused to provide us the proper protection. Now, you will hear them say, you know, we didn't give you guys masks because the CDC said this, the CDC said that. When we put in our complaint in safety rule dispute resolution form, when Ben Valdez submitted his form in, they did not say it was because the CDC said. They denied us the protection because they said it was against uniform policy. It had absolutely nothing to do with the CDC. And they are some cold-blooded liars. They just didn't want to give us the mask. And like I said before, we supposed to have a stockpile supply of masks. Cuomo allegedly gave those masks to the healthcare workers and just didn't think that transit workers needed masks. That's the rumor that's going on out there from my friends at 2 Broadway. Cuomo would never admit it. I would love for one of the media guys to ask them, is that true? So the receipts could start coming out. But it's not because of the CDC. The MTA is so worried about their image. They hate shows like this. They hate the fact that Utano can't call me and tell me, hey, can you get your guy? Could you just calm down? Could you just stay off of him? They hate the fact that they have no outreach to me, and the only way to really deal with me is to communicate with me. I think communication makes everything better. Understand my side, and I probably won't understand your side, but I would listen. Because that's what they've been doing to us. They don't understand our side. They listen and do what they want. And those doing what they want has got us over 130 deaths. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And the conversation had came up, you know, Tramel, can you work with Utano? Could you work with whoever? I'm gonna tell you guys this because I didn't say this. I had someone reach out to Eric. It's been about a month now. And I told him we need to fix some things with this department. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. And I don't overextend myself. So I guess he's happy with the way things are going. It's cool. He's going to have to stand on that. Can I work with Utano? I could work with anyone. I think the issue is, can they work with me? Could they handle the fact that I'm not a yes man? Could they handle the fact that you can't send me back to my tools because I'm already there? Can they handle the fact that I'm radical? Now, you have some people who say, oh, you know, he's radical. They always associate it with black people too, if you notice. They love to call blacks radical because it's actually a dog whistle name for something that they can't say. Because remember this whole covert racism thing that I was talking about? So they have a audacity to always call blacks radical. And I'm a radical. I wear that proud. This union was built off of radicalism. This is a fact. The reason why we are not in the predicament that we should be in is because we don't have no radical leaders. You know, I don't have to attack Utano. I could just talk about the things that he has failed to do. What has Utano got in front of this whole entire pandemic? Nothing. In his mind, 130 deaths is a bargaining chip for him. Because now he feels that he got enough power in his mind. He thinks that he's going to win the next election. That when he goes to negotiate this next contract, that he could pull out that piece to say, hey, I had 100 and X amount of employees die. That's his bargaining chip. That shows how weak they are. It shows how weak they are. We are not in a good position as a union. And not to toot my own horn, but where would we even be without progressive action standing up for us? I know me personally, I have encouraged people to take a stand personally, whom you guys probably wouldn't have never heard of before. I encourage that. Where will we be without progressive action? The good thing about it is that everyone has a little bit of progressive action in them. They just have to talk. Don't be afraid. What's the worst thing that could happen to you? You get fired, right? For speaking up. What's the worst thing that could happen to you for not opening up your mouth and taking a stand? We have seen it. You can die. You can die. If it wasn't for members across this local, independent of the administration, taking a stand and putting the MTA on notice, we would be in a way worse predicament than we are right now. Believe that. Believe that. We would be in a way worse predicament than we are. Trust me when I tell you. This is why I say it's important that we share out the shows. Share out the shows. It costs you nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing to share out the shows. But you know what sharing out the shows do? It put the MTA on notice. Put the MTA on notice. The choice is you guys. If you want to donate to the platform, Progressive Action 100 is the Cash App. PayPal is Progressive Action. If you want to donate via Patreon, it's a monthly donation, comes automatically to us. You don't have to worry about it once you put your information in. We got different tiers of how you want to donate, how important you feel the program and the platform is to you. On another thing, I forgot to tell you guys this, that we are shooting a documentary. We're going to shoot a documentary, and there's nobody better to tell our story than us. It's like For Us By Us. Remember FUBU, For Us By Us? It's like that. So I invested into some brand new camera, film equipment. I invested in some editing equipment, which I've been using. That's where I made the commercial on. I'm going to get outside people to help direct this documentary. And we want to tell our story like we have never told it before. And we're going to focus more on this pandemic, the things that the MTA failed to do to protect us. I'm looking to interview the family of some of our coworkers that we lost. I would like to get their perspective in this documentary. I don't know when exactly I'm gonna start shooting. I'm thinking around July, August. There's a few things that I have to get in order, but I'm looking to start like July, August, and we need to finally tell our story. And it's about that time. So if you're interested in getting into the documentary, you can hit me up. I'll keep you in mind. I'll write your name down. But we're going to put it together. And we're going to put it together nice. I don't want to rush it. But however long it takes. But this will probably be the biggest thing that ever happened to us transit workers. But like I said, we looking to start shooting in around the summer sometime. And everybody's going to be held accountable. The MTA, the union, the governor, they're going to direct it. And we're going to see what happens. So if you want to donate to the platform to continue to make things like this happen, please do so. And thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.